Hello everyone, and welcome to part 1 of my Prismata Expert Scenarios series. We'll be walking through the expert scenarios listed here in the combat training, and I will be solving them and explaining how to solve them and what I'm thinking about as I do it. If you don't know what Prismata is, I refer you back to my Ordinary Prismata playlist, at the beginning of which I play games quite slowly and explain in excruciating detail what the rules are like. This series is targeted more at players who are familiar with Prismata and who would like a little help with some of these expert scenarios. I also have an advanced, what's it called? Advanced exercises? I already did that playlist, so you can see I didn't even know there's more down here. This scroll bar is hidden. Wow. Okay, well, it just looks like a gray thing. Okay, maybe I'll do some of these. I don't know. I literally had no idea they were there. Anyway, we're going to do the expert scenarios here. Let's get started with exercise 1, skipping defense entirely. Tip: with these units, you can win without buying any defense at all. Try converting all your workers to Trinity drones, building green attackers with lots of health, and allowing your opponent to breach you. Indeed. So here, everything is green. It's very nice. Wild drones also synergize here. They're not as breach-proof as Trinity drones, but they're pretty good. Are they not as breach-proof? They are producing... They have 3 health per 2 gold. That's 1.5. The Trinity drones have 5 health per 3 gold. That's 1.6-ish. So yes. There's... Wait. Yeah. The wild drones are slightly more breach vulnerable, but especially as player 1 in a green set, you want to start with wild drones, because if you do, you can get a wild drone or a conduit on turn 2, which you can't do if you start with ordinary drones. Right, each wild drone saves you $1, and if you save $2 compared to building 2 drones. And if you save $2, you'll have enough for conduit on turn 2. And so our goal is going to be just build only green. This is kind of like green's... The way that blue wins the game is by just having more powerful absorb than your opponent, right? Mostly, building big defenders that nullify your opponent's attacks. The way that red wins the game is by attacking your opponent really hard and just being very, very aggressive, trying to stop them from building up. Green would love to win the game by building these very high health attackers and drones and stuff. Right, these green units are normally they're mediocre in efficiency. Consider Gauss Cannon, right? It's a pretty weak attacker. It costs 6 in a green and it attacks for 1. It has 5 health, but who cares, right? It takes most of the game. The health of your attackers doesn't matter because your opponent's not breaching you. But imagine if Gauss Cannon were a blocker, right? If it said, oh, 5 health, and it is fragile, but also it defends. If your opponent had to attack the Gauss Cannon, the fact that it has 5 health would be really important. It would be a very strong unit, I think. It would at least be playable. I don't know if it would be very strong. But probably. And if you kind of just make all of your units non-blockers, then they're sort of all blockers in a way, right? You can build these extremely efficient units in terms of they're decent attackers and they have a ton of health, which averages out to being quite a good unit if you can make the health matter. So that's sort of how green would like to win the game, is by building these high health units in situations where their health matters. And we're going to do that here by building a bunch of wild drones and Trinity drones and stuff, and then probably Gauss Fab and maybe ISOs. It depends on what the opponent's up to. So we could get a Trinity right away, but I think it's better to build an ISO here, so that next turn we can build a Gauss Cannon that will kill the opponent's wild drone. But if I do that, I won't be able to follow up by killing his other wild drone. Right? I guess I could build another conduit here. Build a Gauss Cannon and an ISO next turn, and then I'm sort of just dealing 3 damage every turn forever. This is not so great if the opponent decides to go blue, but if they do, like, they're going to be pretty far behind on real drones. I think this is fine. We'll want a lot of green eventually. It's not such a big deal to cut drones to get it when I have an efficient use for the attack for the green next turn. And you can always, with Trinity drones, convert green into gold if you want. Oh, actually, they're gonna let me breach. I'd rather just kill a regular drone this way. These are much more vulnerable than wild drones, and having no engineers means he won't be allowed to convert any more drones to Trinity drones. So we'll continue having the option, if we want, to attack a bunch of his regular drones. Meanwhile, I don't think we want to add on much more economy, or much more attack yet. 3 is plenty, because it threatens the wild drone as well as threatening regular drones. But it's also not so clear what to do instead. I'd like to build more economy. I guess I'll just build another engineer. Then I can, like, wild drone, Trinity drone. And then 3 more Trinity drones? I don't know, this seems a little bit silly. Why don't I just build Trinities now? And another conduit. I'm trying to see if I can squeeze this Gauss Fab in. And I guess I have to do this, right? If I want the Gauss Fab. That's fine. It's a bit early to pick up a Gauss Fabricator. This is a unit you usually don't want to rush because it's just so slow to produce value. You want to have your economy on a good footing before you do this. Yeah, in fact, I don't really want it just yet. I want to convert more drones to Trinity drones and so on first. So forget this last conduit. Let's just... Can I do this? Ah, here we go. With 3 engineers, I can build drone plus Trinity. Drone plus Trinity. And sort of like be building Trinity drones from nothing. Yeah, this seems fine. Do I want another conduit? Yeah, probably. Now I can drone Trinity. That's $8. Well, I'm not spending my green on anything, so maybe it's better not to. Drone Trinity. I'll have $8 left. I can build a Gauss Cannon or an ISO or something. Okay. Let's try this. And again, we can breach him for 1 drone or kill a wild drone. I'd like to breach him for 1 drone because he's about to use his 2 energy that he's going to have next turn to convert all 3 of his drones to Trinities. By killing 1 of them, I prevent him from doing that, making him keep yet another squishy drone for us to get to. It's hurting his economy slightly less in the short term than just breaching wild drones, right? Like we could damage 2 attack, but I think it's important to pressure his defenses so we can get to the drones before they're converted. I'm not sure. I could be wrong on this. Maybe killing wilds is better. Anyway, we were going to do this, and probably a Gauss Cannon's alright to attack for 4. This threatens to kill his 2 engineers and get to the last drone. I guess he could force... We already threatened to do that, right? And if he force fields, then the extra Gauss Cannon doesn't actually help. So let's just build... do I need another conduit? Maybe it's okay to get a Gauss Fabricator now. But if I do, I'm not converting these to Trinities. Maybe that's okay. The opponent's not actually threatening. He's not really threatening any attack. It's fine to not be able to convert to Trinities if that's how things work out. I can just build a wild drone and a fabricator instead. That would be okay with me. And by the way, here's a good reason, it just occurs to me now, to be pressuring his defenses instead of killing his wild drones. He's about to put down a wall, probably, right? That's good for him. It protects his drones, but now I can switch to killing his wild drones. If I killed the wild drones first, these drones would be safe. This way I get to kill some of both. See, now I can deny him wall value. And we'll just build this Gauss Fabricator. And actually, you know what? I can build 2 more drones and Trinity them both up next turn. That's pretty cool. Is it better to build a wild drone? I don't think so. And just in time, the opponent's threatening to breach us, but we say, who cares? Come on in. I'll just keep killing your wild drones. Next turn, we're attacking for 4, which is an awkward number. I'd love to build 2 Gauss cannons, but I didn't time things out well enough to do that. I could cut a Trinity drone to build 2 Gauss cannons, but then he's killing my 2 drones, which is clearly not good for me. So maybe this Gauss Fabricator was a little early. Simply because our attack is going to be an awkward amount. But, you know, such is life. We'll get the 2 Trinities anyway. Get a Gauss Cannon. This gives us 5 attack next turn, which is a little bit better because he has to do something to prevent getting breached here. I guess he'll just build another wall, so maybe it's not so great. Let's leave it at 4, which is kind of awkward for him to defend. He has to lose 2 engineers. I can add on a Gauss Cannon and Conduit NG. I expect him to kill 2 wild drones this turn, actually. So maybe I don't need the engineers, I just want the conduits. We can start cluster bolting him soonish. Yeah, I guess we're just done building drones. And so now we can kill 2 engineers or 1 wild drone. I don't actually know what's better. But next turn... Yeah, next turn I can arrange to have 6 attack. Hang on. This is already coming in 4, 7. I'll have 7 attack already. Well, this denies him absorb a little bit better. Alright, he gets 1 absorb this turn instead of 2. So I guess I'll go with that. And then... I don't know. Build green stuff, I guess. Try to spend all our gold? Yeah, seems alright. I could click Trinities to convert green to gold, but I'm not doing anything with the gold this turn. I mean, something I could do would be, oops, be like this and build all Gauss cannons. This applies a little bit more pressure to the opponent. I guess this is actually fine. 5 green is more than I'm likely to want next turn. You could argue for saving it to let you cluster bolt more. But I think that just building Gauss cannons instead of ISOs is pretty useful. It applies the pressure faster. The $1 is worth it. And do we kill the Steel Splitter? No, we kill the Wild Drone. And just keep building these breach-proof attackers. Here, let's put them on 1 and 2, or 1. ISOs on 1, clusters on 2, and that's all we're ever gonna need. And you know, this lesson is trying to teach you to just sort of be comfortable with having your stuff breached when the set calls for it. Actually, just click them all and build Gauss cannons. Yeah, I don't know. Right, it's scary to hear that breach sound, but when you've built a whole bunch of green stuff, your units don't mind being breached. What do we kill here? Trinity drones are usually more breach vulnerable than attackers, right? They produce $3 with 5 health, whereas a Gauss cannon produces 1 attack with 5 health. Usually the $3 is better. I think with ISOs, it's generally better to just kill the ISOs if they're about to fire, because that sort of prevents 2 immediate attack. And you can see that by doing this, we're just like miles ahead, right? Alright, we're out of Gauss Cannons. Fine. Yeah, he has like no attackers, we have a million attackers. It doesn't really matter what we do, but this way seems better. This turn definitely don't kill the ISOs. Definitely do kill the regular drones. And I guess we'll kill a Trinity as well. Let's build an ISO and a Cluster Bolt. Seems good. That's the nice thing about green. You can just say, hey, opponent, would you like some free attack? I don't care if you hit me. And of course they care quite a bit. We'll just keep building ISOs and clusters. I guess I'll build an engineer. There you go. No, we'll save them. This way we can rebuild our economy now that the fighting is over. I don't know, I guess it doesn't matter. So there you go. It's scary not having drones, not having any defenses, but if there's powerful enough green stuff in the set, that can really be a big advantage. Going breach-proof, indeed, is the colloquial term for this. Getting into a position where you don't mind being breached is pretty strong, and you can't do it every set, but if there's enough good green stuff, most green stuff likes being breach-proof. Not all, but a lot. Cool. So, that was exercise 1. Or scenario 1. Let's look at scenario 2. Introducing chill. So we're back to puzzles. They're teaching us about the chill mechanic. So the good news is, as a player who already knows what chill is, it's very difficult to lose this scenario. They're basically just asking you, can you kill the Lucina? That, like, the puzzle isn't win, because it's impossible to kill all this defense with just a Tarsier. But if you kill the Lucina, then you won't lose, and that's the goal. So if you don't, does the Giselle tip come back? It doesn't. Anyway, if you don't know what chill is, the idea is you can temporarily prevent a unit from attacking. Oh, I don't have interface? Yeah. So if you don't know what chill is, the idea is you apply chill to your opponent's units. And if a unit has chill for at least as much as its health, it can't block this turn. Chill always wears off in between turns. So the idea is you can use it to temporarily prevent your opponent from using his defenders. So we could take this Frostbite and say, freeze this wall. Now, notice the defense counter here. It was 14, now it's 11. The opponent's not allowed to defend with the wall this turn. We can do something similar with this energy matrix. But as you can see, it only gets 3 chill and it's still allowed to defend. We could send another Frostbite at it, and now it has 6 chill and therefore can't defend, and the defense counter goes down again. And we can do this sort of painstaking process of clicking everything, and we get through the Lucina. Great. But, you know, watching someone do chill in this way is somewhat like, ugh. It's a big pain. You know, how many times did I have to click and aim carefully? Like, you have to click on the right Frostbite, not one of the ones that's already being used. You know, you have to click on 7 of your units and 7 of their units, and everything's a big mess. But just like everything else, you can shift-click to select a whole stack at once, or I believe you can... No, you can't drag. Interesting. I've never tried, but it seems like you ought to be able to. The way you drag... You can drag over, like, drones to harvest them, or attackers to click them, or whatever. Okay, well, you can't do that. But you can shift-click. So we can say, grab all the Frostbites, please, and spend as many of them as necessary to freeze this wall. It'll be 1. Spend as many as necessary to freeze this energy matrix. It'll be 2. And spend as many as necessary to freeze the Aegis. Oh no, it didn't work. Well, we can shift-click the Cryo Rays, freeze the Aegis, freeze this. We breach for Lucina and win. Pretty simple. Oh, I have to commit. Yeah. So it's explaining Frostbites are usually much stronger than Cryo Rays. Is that true? I don't know about that. Is it? This tip is random. This one on the top is actually based on the scenario. This one on the bottom happens to have shown up on this scenario just by total luck. Hold shift to use chill. Well, that's nice. So we've done the first 2 exercises here. I guess we'll get in a third. I'm going to try not to make these videos quite as long as I made the first advanced exercises video. Okay, so what's this all about? Destroy all enemy forces. So we sort of have some trouble here, which is that the opponent has a lot more attack than we do, right? We only have 2. We're ahead a little bit in drones, but they have 10 attack and we have 2. So we look like we're losing here, but we have enough frostbites and pixies to give us 1 turn of really great value. By the way, Tatsu Nullifier. It gives you 2 attack and also can produce 5 chill anywhere you want. So let's chill an energy matrix and grab all the frostbites to chill all the walls and the energy matrix as well. And now that we're breaching, even though the opponent has 19 defense, we can still breach with all of our stuff because we can chill all their defense. We're going to click all the pixies, and what do we attack? We could attack drones, but Tarsiers are way more important. And now suddenly we're not behind in attack. We're tied on attack. We're up on drones. And it's our turn. So we're way, way ahead this game. Do I want to build another Tatsu? I could. Is it like they put this Centurion here to tempt me, right? Is it actually good? It doesn't look that good. I'm just gonna build Tarsier Steel Splitter. I want to start getting real attack. And next turn, 2 attack won't do anything. 2 more attack, he'll still just absorb on the energy matrix. So the fact that these Tarsiers are slow is not important. They're just much more efficient attackers than the Tatsu. We'll get a Tatsu eventually, I suspect. But I'd like... I don't know, I'd like a lot of things, I guess. I'd like an energy matrix at some stage. But I don't see when I can ever really get one. So I guess I'll just build attackers. Ooh, I don't like losing the 2 engineers. It might be better to lose a wall. We'll see. So now we can freeze his energy matrix. And he's not able to absorb at all, in fact, if we attack for just 6. Whereas if these were not frozen, chilled, the technical term, he would be able to lose just 1 wall. This way he has to lose 2. So that's an improvement. Freezing a wall would make no difference. We don't care which walls he defends with, and he has enough walls to defend. So we'll save the frostbite. Yeah, let's get that. I should have, I think, instead of the Steel Splitter, built like a Blast Forge previously, and that way I could get an energy matrix down. The opponent's gonna just attack for 4, which I don't like because it will be exploited a bit. Yeah, actually, I think we should go back and just lose the 2 walls instead of the engineer, because he's gonna be able to do that for a while, right? This is like that defense puzzle where the enemy attacks for 4 and then 3 and then 3. Here, he's attacking for 4 and then 5, and then, you know, something similar. I think it's better to save the granularity this turn and threaten to defend wall onto wall so we can save the engineers. Okay, so there we go. That's an okay turn. We're not spending all of our red, but that's life. I just want to get some more attack. We're sort of over-teched, and I'm not going to drone to fix it. Now he's attacking for 4 again, and it's guaranteed 4, but we'll just absorb it. Yeah, freezing all this didn't make too much difference, did it? It did. So there's actually a better way to freeze. You don't always want to freeze your opponent's biggest defenders. That's a good thing to do if you can freeze all of them, because then you give them less absorb. Or if you can breach them by doing so, But we can do neither of those things, and so we should think instead about how do they want to defend our 6 attack? Actually, hang on, how much attack do we want to apply? We kind of want to apply 9, but that's pretty convenient for them, right? Just lose the 2 energy matrices. So what if we attacked for 7? Is there something funny we could do with that? There is. We can freeze the 2 walls. And now, the only way they can defend for 7 is lose energy matrix onto energy matrix, as if we were attacking for 9, but we're not. So this is... And if for some reason we wanted not to attack with the Steel Splitter, there's an equivalent exploit by freezing the 2 engineers. They have to lose wall onto energy matrix. An exploit for 1. Matrix absorbs for only 3 instead of 4. But this is... Oops. This is in fact even better. Because now their energy matrix will absorb for only 2. An exploit for 2. And we get to apply more actual attack. Meanwhile, we're not being attacked at all, so I'm just going to build Tarsier Frostbite? Sure. I could build a drone. I'm certainly over-teched. A drone would be an interesting choice. But I'd rather like just actually spend my red than build drones to help me someday in the future spend my red. What can we do this turn to make him look silly? I think basically nothing. He has enough drones and engineers hold back that he's perfectly granular. So maybe this is the best chance. Well, if we attack for 11, he kind of has to lose 2 engineers and an energy matrix this way. Yeah, that seems alright. It says here that he's threatening to breach me because he's attacking for 4 plus 3 freeze, but actually his Frostbite can only chill a single engineer. It's not big enough to chill an energy matrix, so he really has only 1 chill. So, and that chill doesn't even do anything. We still absorb everything on the matrix. So let's just ignore that. Build another Tatsu. Nice. And so now by forcing him to lose those engineers, we've made him non-granular again. And we can get some nasty exploits in like this. Oh, we can actually just breach? Well, I'm happy to spend the Frostbites on that. Okay, looks like we got him. Let's just build another Tatsu and some more Pixies and claim victory. Haven't I killed everything? Oh no, he still has a bunch of this stuff left. Okay. Well, we have to spend more time actually killing his... I should have gone back actually and unfrozen an engineer. Let's look at that for a second. So here I have 1 spare attack, but I can't kill anything because all his stuff is either under construction or frozen. So, what I should do is unclick a Pixie. There we go. That's how I can avoid wasting attack. I was thinking unfreeze an engineer so that I could just kill it, but he didn't actually have any engineers that were frozen. 7 attacks, so let's we still breach this way. Alright, and then next turn we'll have him, right? Yeah. A Tatsu Nullifier provides a permanent source of 5 chill, completely negating an opposing energy matrix. It's true. Or doing, in fact, more than that. We were able to do better than freezing energy matrix on some turns by denying our opponent granularity. Cool. So that was the first 3 exercises, and I see that there are 11 of them, so we'll try to aim for 3 per episode with 1 episode where there's only 2. Yeah, that sounds about right, which means we are at the end of the episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.